So we're going to say that, oh, there's a pencil.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Might hurt.
All right.
Fine.
So I'm going to say that James came in, and he has a diagnosis of medial hamstring strain. Okay? So I ask him, and he says, oh yeah, I feel symptom in the back of my thigh. I do a 90-90 muscular infill, symptom reproduction. As I go through and palpate, I find I find a lesion like this. Okay? So, right, this is the induction theory, right, of scar formation. Okay? And so, so this is where his restriction is. So again, if I were to do a global stretch, more than likely he's going to stay tight here, and he's going to elongate above and below that. If this is in the early fibroblastic phase, I really don't want to be putting stress through it. Okay? So, if I assess and say, okay, he has tightness here and he has tightness here, but this was the tightest area, and therefore he injured himself. Okay? So I want to be able to selectively elongate his hamstring without putting stress through that focal defect. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten the tissue, okay, and I'm going to tack down towards, when I tack, I'm tacking onto the muscle, his medial hamstring, okay? So I tack, and then I'm going to elongate just to the point where I feel tension develop underneath my fingertips, okay? So as I tack, I am approximating, so I'm reducing the tension on here. I'm not doing this, right? If I were to tack that way, then there's no point. I'm just elongating through his lesion. So I'm going to tack, and I'm going to approximate towards the lesion, and I'm going to relatively elongate here, and then I'm just going to bring him into extension, and I can move through range. The closer my tack gets to the joint, the shorter my excursion should be. Because if I tack right here, I'm only stretching that much tissue. If I tack here, I'm stretching that much tissue. Okay? So one of the things that you need to do to really know if you're feeling this correctly is you should stop when you feel the tension underneath your fingers. And what you should realize is the further I move up his leg, the more I can extend his knee. Okay? So this is probably the most underappreciated soft tissue technique that we show you guys. We had last year into November saying, so what would you do with this person?